This is the 10 rarest items in WoW that are impossible to get by Vaulty. I think I've seen a few of his videos before. I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure I've seen like one or two. But I want to watch this one because we're playing WoW. So let's watch the video. Let's go.
Items. Some are incredibly easy to find and obtain. Others are literally impossible to get, but still exist in the World of Warcraft database. In this video, I will be going over 10 of the most secret items in World of Warcraft that
literally
no one owns.
you can't get them
at least
at
no
all.
one has figured out yet how to actually obtain these items. As if you go digging around in the World of Warcraft database, you will find some really strange items that have not yet appeared into the game. But
yeah, not yet, because that happened with the Warglaives of Azeroth or Warglaives of Azeroth, whatever they're Azeroth. The Warglaives of Azeroth, they were in I think they were in since Classic. You could find the models, but you couldn't get the actual Warglaives until fuck was it? I want to say Legion, but I think that's way too late. It was either Legion or the Burning Crusade, so those are the only two that make sense. But anyways, they were added in a later expansion. But since Classic, pretty sure since Classic, they were impossible to get. You couldn't get them. But there was a bunch of rumors about getting them, so... Like, I wonder... This is just like a Blizzard, a Blizzard thing that they do. They just add a bunch of weapons into the game. Like, oh, that's cool. I don't know what it does, but it looks cool. And then they just save it for like 13 years later.
Video starts, leave a like down below if you like oxygen. If you like the chemical compound called oxygen, leave a like down below. The first item on this list is a dagger called Shard of the Defiler, and this is a legendary item that has
nice 27.19 damage per second. That's it? No stats or anything.
Never been put into the game. The interesting property of this dagger is its shadow damage and its really fast speed.
Yeah, 1.1? That's insane. Plus 10 to 15 shadow damage.
It has
that's
a speed of 1.1.
Wait, that's a different one though. 62.7. Okay.
Which is really, really low. So this is probably one of the most fastest daggers.
That looks fucking insane. Holy shit. It's like see-through? It's like a glass blade.
In the game.
That looks
also
awesome.
has the unique property of having shadow damage on top of physical damage.
It's like a,
which is almost
yeah, like a shard of a soul.
The dagger itself is actually pretty good.
It is.
And a lot of rogues could actually use this and do some decent damage with it. It also has the unique property of transforming your character into a Nathrazim. If you equip this dagger, you will actually transform into a Nathrazim, as some players have been doing some experiments on their own private servers where they host themselves as a GM and they equip the item, and they have found that if you equip this item, you actually transform your character into a Nathrazim, which is pretty cool. This dagger has never been put into the game, and only GMs in World of Warcraft actually can get this. So the number 2 item is Pirate's Patch. Now Pirate's Patch is it's a Pirate's Patch, and you equip it on your headpiece and you can actually look like a pirate. There are some other items that have a similar model, like the Eye of Rend, which is also like, it's not a pirate's patch, but it is an eye patch. However, this item, for some reason, was never put into the game. It will probably be put along with
that's kind of weird
pirate mobs like the Bloodsail Buccaneers, but Blizzard, for some reason, never put this into the game. They never introduced it into the live game, but for some reason, it is still in the database. Onyxia Scale Breastplate. Now, in World of Warcraft Classic, you could actually skin Onyxia.
That looks so cool.
Using the Onyxia scales that you can obtain from her, you could actually make some craftable items after the skinnable items that drop from Onyxia. And one of these items is the Onyxia Scale Cloak, and the Onyxia Scale Cloak was basically mandatory if you wanted to raid Blackwing Lair.
Yeah,
the final boss of Blackwing Lair was called Nefarian, and you had to have the Onyxia Scale Cloak if you wanted to survive the Shadow Flame damage. But it looks like Blizzard also had some intentions to make some...
Yeah, which was really cool, because you had to go, like... You have to go... It's actually progressive. You have to do the previous things in order to survive the upcoming things. And everything becomes useful. And even going back, you can still find some really good stuff in some of the weaker dungeons.
Items out of Onyxia scales, such as the Onyxia scale breastplate. However, this breastplate was never put into the game for some reason. I think that is kind of a shame, as
Look at
it
those
would be pretty
stats. Holy. Maybe that's why.
cool to have more craftable
That's pretty insane.
items
That's
that you
really
could
good.
make out of boss items. But for some reason, Blizzard never introduced this into the game of vanilla WoW, and there was only the Onyxia scale cloak. So this breastplate is
Yeah, I don't know
something
why
that
they
you
didn't
can
do that
only
more.
find in the
Like
tattoo
having skinnable or like mineable bosses or anything like that. I don't know why they didn't do that more. That was actually like a really cool idea.
base. Number 4 is Bengal Tiger.
Probably annoying.
Now,
Oh,
people
the
have
Bengal
really
Tiger. I've heard so much about this thing. Holy shit. It's such a cool mount.
tried to get this Bengal Tiger
Simple
for
but cool.
the longest period of time. The longest period of time, people are trying to figure out how to actually obtain this tiger in vanilla WoW. However, there has been no found way to obtain a Bengal Tiger. The closest you can come to is the Swift Zillion Tiger, which is a drop from Zul'Gurub. However, this is not the
Very
Bengal Tiger.
rare
The Bengal
drop from
Tiger
Zul'Gurub.
is just a straight up tiger, whereas the Swift Zillion Tiger is
like
basically
0.9%, I
a
think.
reskin of the epic mount for Night Elves. Unfortunately, the Bengal Tiger was never introduced into WoW, but maybe some
Correct.
other time. Number 5 is a weird
No,
one.
probably
It
not.
is the War Paint shirt. Now, the War Paint
What
shirt
the
is not
fuck?
really a shirt. It is more of a tattoo that you equip
Yo.
in your chest piece. Now, the interesting thing with the War Paint shirt is that it actually removes
That's kinda
removes
cool.
all of your chest clothes. So if you were a female
Not
character
good
and you
for-
wore this, you would actually take off the bra that your character would be wearing by default. So Blizzard has
Yo, how do we
fully-
get that? Yo, can somebody get that for me? I mean, asking for a friend, can somebody, I don't know, I just think it'd be cool.
enough put into
know?
the description of this, not good for the ladies. So this basically
No,
means
it's for the ladies. What are you talking about?
that if you wear this tattoo as a female, it will also take off your bra, and I can't show you that for obvious reasons. But the
Oh,
War
wait,
Paint
you can
shirt is
find it?
pretty interesting,
We'll finish the video. We'll finish the
and
video.
it looks like Blizzard were experimenting with tattoos at some point, introducing tattoos into the game, but
Yeah,
they
well,
never
they
got
did.
around to it. I
In
think
the
it'd be pretty
character creator, they did. You can put like tattoos and paint on your character and shit. But other than that, no.
interesting if they
would
introduced
be cool.
tattoos these days, but this was something they've been thinking about for a long time, according to this item.
I think this
so
is
we've got the powerful smelling salts.
very
Now,
long
the
time
powerful
ago.
smelling salts are something that can resurrect any player if you have first aid. Now, first aid is usually just used for bandages, and in
Dude,
vanilla WoW, there's
that should be 200?
any player.
You only need 200 first aid to be able to revive any player? Dude, they should add it into Anniversary WoW, but put it at 300.
If
Put
you
it at
have
max.
first aid. Now, first aid
Make it hard
is
to
usually
get.
just used for bandages, and in vanilla WoW there's some like anti-poison things, but the
Yeah,
smelling
yeah,
salts
venom
would have
sacs.
actually been a big difference, since this could resurrect any player just by using this item. In
That
the
is
early days of
crazy.
World of Warcraft, there are not many ways to resurrect a player.
Yeah.
So having the powerful smelling salts would have been really, really nice. But unfortunately, Blizzard never introduced this. I think Blizzard realized that this would be a little bit too overpowered at the time, so they never
Yeah.
gave this to the first aiders. Brazers, Gnomish.
They should do like I don't know. They should make it a thing in Anniversary WoW, but you need to be max first aid. You need to do a quest to unlock the recipe, and you need to farm Blackwing Lair. You need to farm the whelps in Blackwing Lair in order to craft them. That's what you should have to do. And like you have to like get their scales or something, and with I don't know, like blacksmithing or something, you can grind them into a dust, and then that way that you could actually turn them into that item, and then first aid becomes a lot more useful instead of basically just for like warriors and melee classes and like leveling. Like very rarely do you use bandages, I feel anyways, in other versions of WoW that are not hardcore, and when you're not leveling, basically.
Pleasure device. Now, this is a really weird one. The Gnomish Pleasure Device is basically an item that you use, and now this.
Sorry, that really like took me aback. Infuses the user with 1,000 megavolts of pure Gnomish pleasure.
This is a really weird one. The Gnomish Pleasure Device is basically an item that you use, and you basically get electrocuted, and then you do the /war emote. Like, apparently your character's like really enjoying using the Gnomish Pleasure Device. Pretty weird item, and I'm not really sure what Blizzard was thinking when they made this item.
I know what Blizzard was thinking. All right, they made it at the same time they made that tattoo shirt. Okay. They made one too many female paladins, female priests, all that. Female night elf druids. There was way too many of those running around the office, and that's when they made this.
Obtain this in the game. It's literally just something.
And this was the time that they made it. It was 12:50. So it wasn't even 1 p.m. yet. Everyone's just fucking tented in the office, bro.
Frostmourne. Wow. So Frostmourne is actually an item.
Oh, I know what we're watching after this. Oh my god.
It is actually a real item that Blizzard designed. And this artifact level item was never actually released to the public.
Wielder.
So unfortunately,
the wielder of Frostmourne will become the new Lich King. That is so fucking epic. Imagine it was like. I don't know. They put it in like Mythic ICC or not 25-man hard mode ICC, and you had to kill the Lich King in order to get it. And the first ever person, the first ever guild, whatever, to kill the Lich King, automatically, like, I guess, I don't know how that would work. That's probably why they didn't add it. Because, like, I'm trying to think of a way where it's like, you know, you're rank 1 gladiator, like you're you're literally the top of the top. And that's how you become the new Lich King, but I'm trying to figure out like how they could accurately do that without just saying, oh, DPS, because then everybody's just gonna DPS max, and then it's not exactly like it's not exactly right. Oh wow, that would be such a cool idea, man.
The fact
that would be so cool.
Was never actually released to the public, so unfortunately no one can equip Arthas's sword, but you can actually get the legendary item called Shadowmourne that was released in Wrath of the Lich King. I think Shadowmourne replaced Frostmourne. I think Blizzard just realized that they didn't want to give players Frostmourne. I don't know why that was. Thought that would be a little bit too overpowered to give players Arthas's weapon. So they basically
make them the Lich King.
Frostmourne.
How would you do that?
But Shadowmourne is nowhere near as cool as the real thing. The Frostmourne weapon is something that looks identical to the weapon that Arthas uses, and if you go into a model viewer, you'll see that the Frostmourne weapon is a real thing. And it has been statted and has the really, really slow speed of 4 seconds on your attack timer. This would have been a really awesome sword, however, there is no way to obtain this. And there will likely never be a way to obtain this, because in Legion World of Warcraft, you actually use the Shards of Frostmourne as a artifact weapon. So now that Frostmourne has been broken in the lore of WoW, we'll probably never get to equip Frostmourne. That is something that is quite unfortunate.
They should do it in SOD.
That's how it goes. Crafty's pole.
If they do like SOD in a way where it rolls into the Lich King and it's actually good, then maybe they could bring it back, and then they could have a legendary, like an artifact weapon. Like that. It'd have to be legendary. I think the artifact weapons are lame. Yeah, I think that would be cool too, to be honest.
Now, Crafty's pole is a pretty crazy legendary item. This is a legendary fishing pole,
that's my bad.
and it has the equip effect of plus 1000 fishing. So if you equip this item, you will literally you'll be able to fish up anything in WoW. Especially during the days of vanilla WoW, where
why does that look so good?
Fishing would be 300.
It looks so good.
So plus 1000 is just insane.
Yeah, plus 1000
is
retarded.
Maybe they're just.
I don't even care, but it looks so good.
So the last thing on this list.
So that's how you actually Was it the Warglaives that people thought were under the bridge? I forget what people thought was under the bridge and why everyone was fishing under the bridge. Fuck. I don't think it was though. I don't know. I can't remember exactly. Like I remember hearing it so many times, but I can't remember exactly what the reason they were fishing was. But yeah, this is how you get it. You need to be fishing with this equipped, but they never added it into the game, so then you could never get the weapon.
1000 is just
how it
insane.
is.
I don't know.
That's how it is with
just
Blizzard.
Testing some fishing skill. I don't know. So the last thing on this list has
to
be the legendary
that's probably what it is.
The Ashbringer weapon has been highly sought after in the game for the longest period of time. Now, this was actually put in the database of Vanilla WoW, and people caught wind of this, and
it was this sword. I'm pretty sure it was this damn fucking sword, actually. Now that he says that name, I'm pretty sure it was the Ashbringer. It was either the Ashbringer or it was the Warglaives.
And many
could have
people
been both.
came up
Who knows?
with
It was
crazy
classic WoW.
rumors as to how to obtain Ashbringer. A lot of people have found book items in the game that have alluded to fishing up Ashbringer. However, there has never been an actual way to find it. People went absolutely crazy trying to find Ashbringer.
It was Ashbringer.
People were fishing like for hours on every single day trying to get the Ashbringer. People were searching high and low in World of Warcraft trying to find this item, and there was just no way of obtaining it. The closest you could come to obtaining the Ashbringer was actually by getting the corrupted Ashbringer, which dropped from Naxxramas 40. Now, the corrupted Ashbringer was something that was a really, really cool item, and many people really, really value this item highly. This is a really cool looking weapon. However, the original Ashbringer is something that is impossible to obtain, and unfortunately, now that Legion World of Warcraft has come out, everyone gets the Ashbringer. But the original OG Ashbringer, the actual Ashbringer, that was released in Vanilla WoW, in the Vanilla WoW database.
Not there.
No one has ever obtained. Those were some interesting items in...
This weapon, you can get it in SOD now. I'm pretty sure you can't get the actual... this Naxxramas version anymore either. In retail. At least it's like... it's not the same. But yeah, the actual Ashbringer... that was the weapon that everyone is trying to fish under the bridge. And so this is how you do it. You have to get this Crafty's pole here with the plus 1000 fishing, plus be at max fishing. So you're at 1300 fishing. Plus you need to use a bauble, which gives you an extra 50. So it's 1350 fishing, okay? Now, then you have to fish on the bridge and then perfectly place it so it's under you. Okay, it's tricky, okay? It's tricky. You have to get it perfectly so the bobber's under you, and then you have to fish there for 13 hours and 50 minutes straight without stopping, and then you get it. That's how you get the Ashbringer.
Fishing points in the game that are in the WoW database. And I can make a second video on this, as there are lots of unobtainable items in WoW that have never been released, and I could make a part 2 of this if you guys want.
Probably so
but
many.
I think I've been talking long enough. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like down below. Please leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more. This is Vaulty, signing out.
WoW to me is like, if I were to have gotten into WoW when I was a kid, if I would have had the chance to throw my life away and destroy my life in every single way possible and play classic WoW in its prime in the early 2000s with everybody else, and I was going through it with everybody else, I think that would have been one of the best things that I would have ever done with my life.